How would you like a free gift valued at over $1,000? I would. And that's what we're going to be giving away today, because this is my very first YouTube premiere video. This isn't like my normal homesteading vlogs. Nope, it's not like that at all, because in this video, my family and I, as well as our friends, the Ings, are going to be watching along with you live, as well as interacting with you live in the comment section below. And we're going to randomly give the $1,000 gift to one of you who interacts with us in the comment section below. So light them up, let us know where you're watching from, and feel free to ask us whatever questions you want. And for those of you who don't win the free gift, make sure you keep watching to the very end, because we have some other big news. I'm gonna get inside and go watch. Why? Why do you watch YouTube? Specifically, why do you watch homesteading channels like mine and others? Is it for inspiration, motivation, education? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear why it is that you watch YouTube to begin with. For me, when I first started watching YouTube, it was for that. I didn't grow up in homesteading or farming or any of that stuff, but when I became interested in agriculture, producing my own food, I was like, YouTube's the way to go as far as learning. So I started watching people like Jules Gervais, the late Jules Gervais. He had the urban homestead out in Pasadena, California. And he was doing some amazing stuff with small acreage. I think he had something like just a quarter of an acre, and he was growing all kinds of food. And we lived in a city plot at the time, and I was like, man, I want to do something just like him. So we started growing food in the city where we lived. A little here, a little there. And around that same time, we also started growing these things called kids. And growing up, I didn't have a connection with where my food came from. I didn't have a connection with going to a farm or hands-on experience with growing my own food. But when we had kids, I wanted them to have that experience early on. So our first child, Selah, we had her out in the garden from the very beginning. She was all covered with dirt and out there helping me with harvesting things, and it was a ball.
We were so involved in knowing where our food came from. We wanted our children to learn from an early age where their food came from. So that's why we got them so involved in getting out in the yard and getting dirty and learning how to plant seeds at the kitchen table. We did all of these things because that wasn't our life before, and we wanted that for our children.
And even though I was a newbie at growing things, it was so empowering. And I just wanted to grow more and more, especially with the motivation of having children, wanting to know what we were putting in their bodies as well. So I was reading all kinds of magazines, books, but primarily watching a ton of YouTube videos. A lot of people were out there sharing things. And one of the channels that was most impactful to me at the time, early on, was the urban farmer, Curtis Stone. And on his channel, he went step by step on what to grow to maximize your profit and your produce in an urban setting, in a small market garden. But with watching YouTube videos, you only retain like a certain amount. According to the learning pyramid, it's only like 20% of what we see and hear do we actually retain and take in. I attended one of his hands-on workshops. For me, it really took things to the next level. I learned hands-on how to garden, what tools to use, how to use those tools, shoulder to shoulder with Curtis Stone.
And that really took our gardening to the next level. We were able to level up our skills and be able to produce more than we ever produced before. So the hands-on experience is so important if you really want to move to the next level.
And since then, we've been to a lot of other different events, conferences, where you see people up on stage, and yes, they may give you a little bit of motivation for the weekend or whatever, but there's not a lot of hands-on skills that you can go home and apply the next day. But those hands-on experiences make a world of difference.
And at some of those conferences, we met the Ings. We met them at Polyface, and from there, we kept bumping into them at different conferences, and Mike was speaking or they were speaking at a conference. And we finally sat down and had dinner together after meeting one another. And we talked about what we liked and what we thought was missing at these conferences. And we thought, you know, The best way to make connections and build community is over a meal, breaking bread together.
We have been quote unquote homesteading since 2017, but we were living in suburbia in California. We had raised garden beds, we had a couple of chickens. I mean, everything was Instagram worthy, but in reality, we were still purchasing our groceries from an app.
I mean, we're from Silicon Valley, right? Born and raised, and so modern convenience is something that is a necessity for us. When we were looking for our home, for example, we made sure that Whole Foods delivered directly to our house. And that was what we did, and a lot of my coworkers did too. But it wasn't until 2020 in March that when we went into lockdowns and curfews in California, that's when we realized that we needed to live a more self-sufficient life, at least strive to.
And so we kicked it into gear. We started searching online, checking out YouTube. And you know, you like to learn best by watching, but I learn best by doing. And we booked trips, multiple trips, out to Polyface Farms, and we learned from Joel and Daniel Salatins. And we brought the girls out there and we learned how to harvest chickens and rabbits. And it was just so empowering coming from the city, because I was totally intimidated to even go into a Home Depot because I wasn't very handy back then. But by taking these courses, these hands-on courses, these workshops, I felt empowered to do it.
Well, we didn't have the access then that we have today.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was called homesteading. We didn't know, and so the only person that we had heard of that was doing anything remotely to this was Joel Salatin from Food Inc. and the multiple books that he read. Now understanding that homesteading is more than just the skills, but the community and having access to sharing knowledge and skills together is something that we wish we had back in 2020.
At the time, we did not know that we could just jump into farming or homesteading. We thought our parents or grandparents had to own a farm. But by taking these workshops, we felt so empowered. So I went duck wild and bought 100 ducklings. And when I searched it up online, Mike showed how to use wax, because up until that point, I was calling up hunting clubs in California and they told me to skin the ducks. But from our Asian culture, we love the skin.
And they were also charging us $18 to do it for us. And when we were looking for more permaculture related videos, we found Permapasture Farms with Billy and Michelle Bond, who shared a wealth of knowledge across multitude of different things, from sheep butchering to composting. And it was really great because coming from East Tennessee and Western North Carolinas, it just made sense that, you know, as we run into each other so often at these events, that we would have dinner together and dream up some ideas.
Each of our families talked. We talked about what we liked in some events and what we didn't like about some of the events that we had each been to. And some of the things that we mentioned was, well, especially for me, I don't like a lot of the events that have that just sterile conference feeling. I want something that's more family friendly, more festive, more just fun.
Well, we really enjoyed that we got to meet all these different people, but you only have a limited amount of time to talk. Everybody's going to hear the next speaker, to do the next thing. And, you know, we really wanted to get to know more people.
In some of these events, the speakers are like rock stars, where it's like you can't even touch them, they're untouchable. They get up there and speak and then they shoot out and they're gone, and you're like, hey, I had a question. Hey, okay. That's not what we wanted in an event. We wanted something where we could rub shoulders to shoulders with the speakers, get to know them, hang out with them.
And have good food.
Oh yes, good food is something that was definitely
Food is a big deal in our family. We're very big eaters and we like to eat good food.
And we're big eaters too, our entire family, which is why I wrote a cookbook about it all.
Yeah, if you're homesteading and you're gardening and you're growing, why not want to eat the food and enjoy it, right? So we wanted that same thing in an event. So the three of our families
put together a homesteading conference, and we put together all the things that we wished we had in a homesteading conference where we could break bread together, have nourishing meals together, not junk food from food trucks, but actually nourishing meals, as well as having hands-on workshops. But we wanted to create a homesteading conference that focused on families because we want to build generational legacy.
We met week after week planning an event together. We decided to call it the Jamboree because that represented that feel, that festive, fun feel that we were going for.
Many of these conferences you have to pay for VIP tickets, but at our event, every single ticket is a VIP ticket, meaning it includes food, it includes the ability to have one-on-one conversations with the speakers, as well as having hands-on workshops. Many of these conferences will have a separate day where you have to pay separately, a la carte, for these classes, but not at our event.
And then finally, the day of the event came. I still remember that feeling that I had in my stomach. I don't know if you had it, but I had. I was like, is this just gonna bomb or what? Oh man, that would not be good if this just totally bombs.
Yeah, we were super nervous the day of, actually the night before the event even started. This was our first time throwing an event. I mean, we've thrown birthday parties before, but I mean, this is a homesteading event. It's a jamboree, and it's supposed to be unlike any other. And it was unlike any other. In fact, we were just so pleasantly surprised with what actually turned out, from the check-in process to the workshops. I mean, it was go, go, go.
But it was just so exciting to see everybody there, rubbing shoulders to shoulders with everyone throughout the event. We didn't have speakers that just dropped in for their time to speak and then headed out. No, they were there the whole time, hanging out with everybody, breaking bread together. It was amazing.
It was really great to see everybody with their children, knowing that all the people here shared the same vision and shared the same values as we did, wanting to have their families come and take part of this learning experience together, but not just in skills, but in this community. It was, honestly, it was the best experience that I'd ever attended, even being on the other side.
I led up the workshop on chicken and duck processing. It was such a good feeling, being able to pass these skills on to these individuals. Not just have them watch me on a screen and take in the information, but no, to be right beside me, shoulder to shoulder with me, saying, no, cut here, no, do this. And having that feeling, knowing that what they were learning during this event, that the very next day when they go back home, they'll be able to just pick right up where we left off and to be able to do it. That they didn't just watch us on the screen, know that they learned from us. And having our daughter right there with us.
I was gonna say that.
During that moment, it was just, for me, I teared up seeing her teaching grown men and grown women, this 14-year-old, teaching them, passing the skills on that we helped instill in her, and then she carried it on and was passing it down to somebody else.
And to have those people tell us how good of a job that she was doing, that they actually were learning from her. You know, that is what this whole thing is about our children and passing these things down.
Such a good feeling.
Our daughters were also there alongside Selah, who also helped the adults go in there, get their hands in, and started eviscerating some chickens. It was one of the best moments, just seeing how our families have come together. We had this vision in our heads for a really long time, but to see it all come into fruition in a beautiful way, and to see grown men, grown women, and another teenage child step up, his very first time harvesting his own chicken, that sense of pride that comes in when you know that you can do this, it was just really, really fascinating and really just great to have.
Yeah, it really came full circle for us. Coming from a guy who didn't even want to walk into a Home Depot to seeing my daughters train other adults on harvesting chickens, it's like, wow, we've come such a long way and we're doing something right here. And it, as a dad, it just made me tear up.
And then to add to that, when the chefs prepared the meals at the end of the day, knowing that they were serving meals that we raised. Not that that's, whoa, me. No, it was like, it feels good to be able to share in that capacity as well. Like the whole event was just sharing experience, sharing skills, sharing love, and so much more.
Another thing that we wanted to do was create a more intimate event. We did not want to be lost in the crowd or actually have any of our participants feel like they were just a number of many people just showing up to a conference. Our mission is to build community. That yes, we have subject matter experts teaching these workshops, but everyone who's attending the Homesteaders United Jamboree, they are in different walks of their homesteading journey. Some may be brand new, but many have been homesteading for years. And by coming together with good food, great music, campfire, these are all ingredients for building community. And so we stay up late, we share stories, we talk about best practices, whether it's raising chickens or cattle, you name it. And you know what? We offer tent sites at our event. So you can talk late into the evening and go right to sleep there. And it's especially great for families with children. You don't have to grab everything early in the morning and try to hustle over to make it to the event because you're staying right there on the property.
And after 15 plus years of learning, of doing this homesteading journey, it is so rewarding to be able to share all the things that we were able to share at the Jamboree. It was so fulfilling.
It really was. When people came up and they really were genuinely asking us questions about different things, sometimes you feel like you don't know very much because you always want to learn more. But then someone comes and asks you a question and you can answer it right off the bat. And you're like, well, maybe I have been doing this a little while and I do know what I'm talking about. So not only is it good for the attendees, it's really good for us too. It makes me feel good to be able to share this knowledge with other people.
And also knowing that, I mentioned earlier that we only retain about 20% of what we hear and what we see. But when somebody is hands-on, that retention goes up to 75%. And then when they actually teach somebody else, that it goes up to like 90-95%. That we were providing that at the Jamboree. It's like, we're providing with the best that we're able to.
Not only are they learning, but we're becoming better learners. We are teaching and taking that even to a deeper level for us too.
Another important aspect for our event is that we also wanted to make sure that it was also an event that didn't deny God and also had a biblical component to it as well. We didn't want to shove religion down anybody's throat, but we also wanted to be able to share the things that are important to us within the context of the homesteading lifestyle. So even though the event was just a 2-day event, we also opened up a third optional day of worship and praise for those who wanted to attend. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God started this from the beginning with us.
And it looked like everyone was having a good time, but we weren't sure if everyone was having a good time. We found out that on the last day, there was an overwhelming response from people asking us, when is the next event going to happen?
Everybody should be part of it. Whether you're a noob like me that knows nothing about farming, even most of these guys here do have backgrounds and they learned tons as well.
Really like the uniqueness of all of this, the fact that it's more intimate and we're able to interact with one another on a more personal level.
It was a lot of fun to meet a lot of good people and meet community people, meet like-minded people, and learn hands-on.
You can look at YouTube videos and learn a lot that way, but to really be able to see things firsthand in front of you and participate is a lot of fun, and it just builds confidence.
It's like we're finding our people. not just us, but I've enjoyed watching my kids find their people, because they're often the like feral kids that don't want to do what normal kids want to do, and they're finding their people too. And just the accessibility of everyone here, and you're learning so much, not just from the speakers, but from conversations as you're talking to one another.
You hear a lot of this stuff, you can see videos, listen to podcasts, but the best thing is to come to these events, put your hands on and get hands-on experience with some of the things that you hear and watch in videos. So that's the biggest takeaway, is to get out to one of these events and really learn for yourself, get hands-on, ask questions, and meet everybody at these events.
So both our families decided it's time to do another one. Why not make this an annual event? So this year we're having the second annual Homesteaders United Jamboree, and we're having it here.
That's right, Mike. This year is going to be bigger and better. More hands-on workshops.
Like chicken and duck processing that I'm going to be teaching again this year, and everyone who wants to have the opportunity to have a hands-on experience will do so. But in addition to that, there's a gardening space here where I'll be teaching fall gardening and hands-on.
And I'm going to teach you how to make your own family wellness toolkit from things that you probably already have in your kitchen.
And I'm going to show you how to make nourishing bone broth using all of the leftover bones from our harvesting, from our sheep, our ducks, and our chicken into a nourishing bone broth that I will show you in a demo, and you'll be able to taste it during our international dinner.
And you're not going to want to miss out on our harvesting sheep workshop. It was a huge hit last year. We're bringing it back. We're making it better than ever, because you're going to have multiple opportunities to learn how to harvest sheep safely. I'm also going to be teaching homestead security based on my military background. If you're just getting into homesteading, or you're looking to take your homestead to the next level, I'm going to give you some quick tips and advice on how you can enhance security for it. There are so many more workshops that we are offering this year. We heard your recommendations last year, and we're implementing it this year.
And this event, it isn't just for adults. We're opening it up to kids even more so this year, with some hands-on opportunities for our youth as well.
Here at Wings of Eagles, we are a nonprofit founded on the principles of Isaiah 40:31. We are a center of hope, giving families of special needs children and adults, alongside our at-risk youth community, the opportunity to soar on wings like eagles. Through meaningful activities such as therapeutic horseback riding and summer camps, we provide participants the opportunity to gain strength, increase balance, and social skills, all while they gain the most important thing of all, self-confidence and self-esteem. Wings of Eagles is excited to offer the Homesteaders United children the opportunity to participate in a hands-on horse care workshop during the Jamboree.
So we know that you've seen some of us on YouTube, but we invite you to come join us, share a meal with us, rub shoulder to shoulder with us, and grab your early bird ticket today. Go to homesteadersunited.com. We have a few early bird tickets left and a few camping spots, and we want to spend time with you here. So we invite you to come join us August 28th to 30th.
Thank you for watching, commenting, and allowing us to share with you this part of our story and journey. And we're inviting you to be a part of the Jamboree experience.
The Homesteaders United Jamboree 2025 is this August 28th, 29th, and 30th in Concord, North Carolina. And we're intentionally keeping this really small and intimate so you get those really deep connections with other attendees.
And so that way we can really help hone in those skills and provide you with the hands-on learning that we're striving to do. And for the next 48 hours only, when you grab your Jamboree full experience ticket, you'll also get a $1,200 bundle for free, which includes recordings from the Jamboree last year, 2024, as well as the recordings from this upcoming Jamboree. So not only will you be able to have that hands-on experience firsthand in person, but you'll also be able to have those recordings available to go back and look at later on.
And some of the items in the bundle are things like my ebook, Family Wellness Toolkit, where I teach you how to treat minor illnesses with things you probably already have in your kitchen. And there's a class on knife sharpening. There's also another class on how to make 3 meals out of 1 chicken. So much good information.
So, for those who can join us in person, you get the full hands-on experience with us here at the Jamboree. Plus, you get the recordings from last year and this year, and you get the bonus bundle. But we do understand that some of you, for whatever reasons, cannot make the in-person full experience. So, does that mean you miss out? No. You could still join us through the Jamboree digital experience. We're offering the recordings plus the bonus materials, all those items that you can access from anywhere. Wherever you are, you'll be able to access these materials.
But you need to act fast because we're only offering the in-person experience and the bundle and the digital experience and the bundle for the next 48 hours.
And now is the moment we have all been waiting for. You remember at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that we're gonna be picking one random commenter from the chat to win an over $1,000 prize. Well, that prize is the full digital experience plus the bundle at no cost at all. And at this time, we have selected the winner, so make sure you check the chat.
And if you can benefit from an event like this, we would love to have you. So I will put all the information in the description box below and make sure to pin it in the top comment. But also, if you know of one of your friends that would love to go to something like this, please share all this information along with the digital bundle that's available for the next 48 hours.
So we'll see you soon, either at the Jamboree in person or online. Have an awesome day. And thanks again for watching.
Bye guys.